And here we go. This morning's topic is replenishment, keeping the showroom shelves full. So David may be dropping off as I explain more what the topic is. I tried to do this in the meeting invite. You're welcome to stay, of course. But what we're really talking about is within the branch, restocking shelves where you have a product that has more than one bin location. Typically, we're talking about something that's in the showroom of a branch, and then the overstock is back in the warehouse. And just briefly, why it's worthwhile is to to have all the product that you need for your customers who are going to pull their own order at the counter, and it just really looks better if the shelves are nice and full and abundant. So this is something as far as restocking your showroom with product that's in the warehouse. This is something you certainly can approach in kind of a manual way by going out in the showroom and eyeballing the shelves and, okay, we're low on this thermostat, and going back, pulling the product from the warehouse, doing a location change. All of that works. But I'd say it can be better accomplished if you automate it in Eclipse, which is what we're going to step through. So really, step one with this process is setting up mins and maxes in warehouse location maintenance for the products we're talking about. So let me open that up. And I'm picking on Downingtown this morning. Not really, just chose them as an example. And 01. Okay. So warehouse location maintenance, and I put in a specific location. You may have to change your view over here with the magnifying glass. You should have this replenish min max view. And then you can see it looks like we're in a shelf or an area with a lot of copper fittings. You can see we have mins and maxes set for some of these products. And how you do that is to open up this screen, come in here and type the min and max. What you're doing in the real world, of course, is determining what's the most amount of product that I can fit into that bin that I have for that fitting or on that shelf in the space I've given for the specific thermostat or whatever it is. So of course you want to, fill up that bin or fill up that shelf to the maximum amount that you think it can hold, and then come in here and that will be the max, and then set some kind of min. I don't have a great rule of thumb on what the min would be, other than telling you after you set this up, then there's a program that runs nightly that is going to look at all of your products with mins and maxes, and any of the products that fall below that min, it's going to trigger it for replenishment, which I'll be showing you in a minute or two here. So you probably don't want to run the min down to just one or two, but maybe have it at, I'm going to say, a quarter of the capacity, roughly, something like that. It's very easy to experiment with because you can come in here and change these values very easily. So as I said, once this is set up, then I'm pretty sure it's an overnight process that generates these replenishments. And what it does, I'll show you first in solar, and then we'll switch over to what we're going to do on the RF gun. So in solar, and I'm in the training account, if I put in Downingtown, you can see, I think it's always at the bottom. You can see it says replenishment, and there were 16 products, and then I've already been playing with some, so some are already done. But if you right click on replenishment here, you can see the detail. by choosing View Replenishment. And sure enough, here's the products. And I always move these columns. I like to see from location before to location, but it's showing you for each of these products where it wants you to move it from one location, typically out in the warehouse, to the location, typically in the showroom. And it's telling you how many should be moved. So like I said, in a moment, I'm going to jump onto an RF gun and show you. But, oh, and replenishment is cumulative. We know this isn't something you're going to necessarily do every day. So those replenishments will continue to build. And then likewise, if I had 10 replenishment items to do, I don't have to do all 10 right now. I could do 5 and then do another 5 later today. Okay, so I can't exactly show an RF gun on the screen, but I can I can show you what the screen of the RF gun will look like if you follow. So this is the menu you would see on the RF gun, and replenishment has its own menu option there. The Downing down. Now, when I first come in here, it says no replenishment selected. So this is kind of similar to choosing a sales order you're going to pull. So you're going to do this select, Alt S, and then just hit enter. It puts a little asterisk next to it, and it's calling this job 1 with 11 items. Escape out. Okay, great. So now it's telling me the product and where to pull it from. So let me try to kind of simulate this on the gun. So pretend I'm actually scanning, but in reality, I'm typing here. Oops. R53, 833. And now pretend like I'm scanning the location. Oh, and then verify the quantity. So pretend that I'm pulling 32 of these little couplings. Tote, just like you're pulling an order or putting away a product, but I'm gonna just use my initials here. Great, now I'm on to the next product. I'll just do like one more. W89, 187. And this is 7 of these. Okay. So I just did 2, but like I said earlier, I could do as many or as few as I have time for. So picture I'm loading up a cart maybe, and maybe I can only fit 4 or 5 products on that cart. So then the next step, after you've pulled the products that you're going to move to somewhere else in your building, you can go, I could stay in this screen and do put away, or if I come out, put away is also a menu option. Now it's like I'm putting away product that I've received in on a purchase order or transfer, same idea. So I'm scanning my product, R53, 833. Hold on 1 second. Oops. Okay, and now it's telling me where to put that product. So I'm walking over, now I'm in 05 S10E, and I'm taking the 32 couplings off my little cart and putting them on into this bin here. And I'll just do one more. Okay, now I'm scanning this product and I'm walking over to its location, 90601A. Okay, great. And then after I put away all the products, it'll just have this message, scan tote pallet. There's nothing left. Okay. I'm going to give you guys ability to unmute yourselves, and then we can do Q&A. Okay, you guys should be able to unmute. Oh, I should have said earlier, but there is a quick guide for this. I was sharing screenshots of it. So in the branch team shares, the quick guide is actually called, I'll show you. So if we go into branch team shares, training and resources, Eclipse, almost there, warehouse functions, location maintenance and replenishment, because this document does cover some other stuff, but location maintenance and replenishment steps you through everything I just shared. I think about half of our branches have set themselves up for at least some location, some product locations, and are doing replenishment at this point.
Matt, I can't think of anything to ask, but I know I want more people to watch this. Where do we find these again?
The ones that have already been set up, Dan?
The recordings, yeah.
Okay, so in solar, warehouse in process status,
yeah,
which I think I still have open. I think it always is the last row when you come in here. So that'll show, the ones that have been set up, and it's showing you, well, the ones. So when I come in here, it's telling me there are 16 products that have fallen below the minimum that I've specified, and these products need to be replenished. But to see, the only way I know to see the setup is to go into warehouse location maintenance. There probably is some report we could find or come up with, but in warehouse location maintenance, put in a specific location and it'll show you all the mins and maxes there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know we had a discussion of having a minimum of about half of your max at one point. That way you're not constantly filling and you're not running it down.
Right.
Somewhat full.
Yeah, I might even go to a quarter or a third.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
just
yeah, and then just obviously moving the new product to the front, because that we found we're redoing a few of the showrooms and finding that a lot of products, some have expiration dates and they're kind of buried in the back. So one thing I forgot to mention is as soon as you go below that minimum, it's going to do the math and tell you how many to replenish. But if it's, I could go back into the screen, but when you're picking the replenishment, you can reduce the quantity. So if it tells you to pick 27 of something and it's a box quantity of 25,
you don't have to pull all 27. I'll go back into it. That way we're not like breaking cartons unnecessarily. Let's see if I go back, replenish picks. Okay, so when I'm in the screen on the gun and I'm pulling the product, like here it's calling for 34 of these unions, but a little bit of judgment call. If there's 25 or 30 in a box, I can do this quantity, Alt T, and I can say, really, I'm just going to pull 30. So there's room for a little bit of judgment here, so we're not constantly ripping open bags and boxes. Okay, Brad, will it ask you to replenish a product that maybe isn't in stock? Or will it only trigger stock is understood to be in another? Right. Yeah, Brad. So this is all right, just moving product from one bin location within your branch to another. But of course, it's only as good as the information we give it. So if your on hands, aren't spot on for either the location, the bin location we're pulling the product from, or the bin location that we're restocking, then this could get a little bit wonky. But it's running based off of those numbers it sees for the locations for a given product. Jim, I know you guys are set up with some products. Is this something you guys do each week or
Daily.
daily?
Yep.
Justin had another question in the chat.
Wait a minute.
He's asking if the item isn't in stock, it won't attempt to replenish it, correct?
Oh, if the item isn't in stock, right. So it's only as good as the information we've told it. But right, if you have a product in the showroom and the minimum is 20, and you've fallen below that, it's gonna ask for as much as it can to get up to that max.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have enough to get to the max, then right, it's not going to ask you to pull product where it doesn't think you have enough, if that makes sense. Won't create an in-process request. Well, it won't go in. I guess that's what it is. Yeah, it won't go into the replenish. It won't go into the replenishment picks, I guess we're going to call it, just like in-process request. So yeah, like on this example, if it didn't think I had any in another location, it's not going to come up. I'm with you, Justin. We can look at any examples too if you want to call me. All right, I'll give it another minute or so. Maybe a straightforward topic, but like I said, I think only half of our branches, maybe 2/3, are set up and using this. So I just wanted to kind of bring more awareness as we're getting busy for cooling season and want our showroom to stay stocked. This can help a lot with that.